Yo, what phone you got? Can I need you to take a video of me real quick.
Gotta wait a little minute. Gotta wait a little minute for this shit to all come together.
Hopefully she got home safe. Now for this next clip, I want you guys to close your eyes and tell me what you see.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Wait, that's not the idea. Wait.
Tell me how logic works. Give me one rule of law of logic. Give me one law of logic. One.
It's based in fact and truth.
What? What? Can you give me a single law of logic?
Can you?
Yes, I can
Okay,
give you
so
all
this is-
The first is the law of non-contradiction. The second is the law of excluded middle. How many would you like? Would you like to get into informal logic as well?
Yeah, go for it.
Would you like to get into the law of identity? That's the third law. What else would you like?
That's semantics at this point.
No, that's literally the opposite of semantics. Do you know what semantics are? Because that's not semantics.
This girl is slower than a parked car. She needs to ask a refund from her college. She's so used to people allowing her to utilize words she does not comprehend. She probably uses the word misogyny and doesn't even know what it means.
A few moments later.
What's the meaning of misogyny?
When someone's... it's something to do with men.
Huh?
It's something to do with men being like very a certain type of way towards women.
What type of way? I want to know what type of way.
Like when they're like.
Gotcha, bitch!
My name's Victoria, but you probably know me as Well Vicky. I'm not a baddie, I'm a woman of God. The difference between my old personality and me now is that I'm matured and I'm more into Jesus.
Watch that again. I'm sure she said, I'm a turd and I love Cheez-Its.
That I'm matured and I'm more into Jesus.
This is to the bitch-ass men that cry about paying child support. Let me put it to you like this. You get to live your life without a worry in the world. You get to go on vacations whenever. You get to hang out with your friends whenever you want. You get to go to brunch. You get to go out at night. You get to do whatever you want, right?
You let him hit it raw. You didn't have second thoughts. Now you a single mom. Now you a single.
Gentlemen, just let a woman talk and they'll tell you why they're single.
I'm just not gonna have a man's baby just to have a man's baby. If a man wants me to have his baby, I have two requirements. You're gonna get a tattoo of my face on your body because it's a body for a body. My body's gonna change forever, your body's gonna change forever. And my push present is either a car or a house, preferably both, but I definitely want a tattoo of my face on the father of my child's body, preferably stomach, because my stomach is gonna look different after a baby. So your stomach should look different too.
You're smoking crack. Stop.
All men should greatly appreciate social media because it has allowed us to see how the vast majority of how most women think, that to them, 2 + 2 is potatoes.
We've created a generation of narcissistic women. And what's happened is the rise of social media and the rise of online dating and the rise of feminism has taught women that they are not to blame for any poor choices. Every poor choice is glamorized. So if you want to be a sex worker, it's great. If you want to post in bikini pictures online, it's fine. If you want to be in with it, every poor choice is glamorized. And every internal reflection is seen as gaslighting yourself. So they've even got terms for internal reflection to prevent it happening. And so what will happen is they are trained to not reflect on themselves because we've been told we've been oppressed for so many years. Now it's time to make sure we project. And so we don't take any accountability. And as a result, when we get into relationships, if we don't feel completely soothed all the time, he must be a narcissist. He must be a manipulator. He must be gaslighting. He, rather than I. And unfortunately, we've got an online market that caters to that wounded woman, that caters to that entitled woman, and caters to that narcissistic woman. And it's so wild to me that so many women talk about narcissism, but the society today is just catering to narcissistic women.
Meanwhile,
how many female-dominated industries can you think of that aren't related to sex or beauty?
Not a lot, and that should change.
How do we change that?
Let women take over.
Most female-dominated industries are sex or beauty related, correct?
Yes.
That's the way things are right now. That should change.
Well, right, but why would women want to give up their power if they can use it to,
Because it shouldn't be the only power that we're able to hold in society.
Well, whether it should
When you don't give women a fair chance to gain power, they're going to do whatever it takes.
Well, is there anything stopping women from getting power any other way?
Yes, men.
Well, I mean, but men also give women their power, correct?
Not enough of it.
If all the men in the world were gay, how would women get power?
Because they're fucking women.
What does that mean?
They're strong and better than men.
Well, right, but I'm saying if women couldn't use sex to control men, then how would they get power?
Skip.
All women are bi. You just have to figure out if she's bisexual or bipolar. And gentlemen, this is your typical BPD eyes. Her age and the amount of bad decisions she has made is evidenced by the significant amount of metals in her face, render her opinions on such matters invalid and useless.
Haram. Hey man, I'm gonna give you 3 good reasons to chase that woman, especially if you think she for you.
She want her, let her go. She want to go to him. She want him instead. You gotta let her go, bro.
Fuck you, bitch. You broke my heart.
You're short. You're white. Your dick is small. You can see the bulge in your pants. You have a size 8 shoe. Do you have a size 8 shoe?
No.
Yes, you do. I see.
Size 9.
Oh, close. Bad teeth, bad eyes, bad hair. You don't even have a beard.
Now switch the gender roles and watch magic happen. Getting pressed by a 3 is freaking crazy. If a girl talked to me like this, I'm going to do this. Equal rights, equal fights.
A 12-year-old should be able to get a tattoo.
I'm gonna say no.
Probably not.
No. It's probably too young to make decisions.
It's a pretty permanent decision. They can't make the decision for themselves yet. It's something permanent on their body.
Do you think a 12-year-old should be able to consent to puberty blockers?
Yes.
Yes.
And I understand how that sounds really hypocritical.
Yes, it's a permanent change on their body, but I think that at that point in their life, they probably know who they are, who they want to be.
And you think so at 12 years old?
Yes.
Do you think a 12-year-old should be able to consent to puberty blockers?
Yes, because that's not a permanent decision.
I think there's plenty of time to make those decisions later on once they've had a chance to decide exactly what they want their identity to be.
I think that maybe there should be more waiting, but I don't want to, put down trans ideas.
If they could make an informed decision, yeah.
And you think a 12-year-old can make an informed decision?
I don't know, I guess it depends on the 12-year-old.
Be like a really mature 12-year-old.
Right, yeah.
Because some children you can just tell, when that decision is legit with them.
It's crazy because a 25-year-old barely even knows who the hell they are, let alone a freaking 12-year-old. I remember when calling out your friends on their bullshit was considered being a true friend, not an oppressor. Now, you guys really like it when I add these conspiracy theories at the end of the video. So now, ladies and gentlemen, here is the conspiracy theory of the day. The agenda behind feminism.
A Catholic priest says that the government has delivered the world to the top 5 demons under Satan.
Once it gets into a culture, then it becomes extraordinarily difficult to get out of. Our culture is in a particular precarious situation. Underneath Satan, there are what we call the 5 generals. The 5 generals are the 5 demons that are immediately hierarchically underneath Satan, and they are the ones who execute his plans. In some cases, they call it the table, because it's basically they get to divide up certain things. The first demon Under him is Baal. Satan actually is the demon of impurity, but Baal is a demon of impurity. His principal function is to get cultures to succumb to impurity, primarily through fornication. Once the fornication sets in, from that arises the idea that sex should be recreational and that you can use it for any way you get pleasure. That's fine. So Baal lays the groundwork. We saw this in our own country. It was called the free love movement. The next thing he tries to do is, although in our country he managed to pull something off that was rather extraordinary. The next thing is after that, as we read from St. Paul, God delivers men and women up to their lusts, and men will start to run to sleep with men and women with women. Which basically means what? Once the spirit of fornication sets in, which by the way, I don't know if you noticed, in the New Rite, they removed from the spirit of fornication, deliver us from the litany of saints, at the very time that the free love movement gained ascendancy. What we pray for is what we get. You don't pray for it, you're not going to get it. After that, then what happens is the culture, the next three demons show up. The first is Asmodeus. He's the demon of homosexuality in men. Then there's the demon of Leviathan, which is the demon of homosexuality in men, but of the masculine kind. These are the women who are heavy on the heels, we would say. Then there is the spirit of Lilith, which is the more seductive form of female homosexuality. After those have gained ascendancy in a culture, which by the way, if you look at the cultures, every single culture is pushed in this direction. Historically, not just ours, but historically, this is always the progression. Once you have fornication, you end up with contraception, and then the upshot of that is homosexuality and then abortion. Baphomet is the fifth one, and he's the demon of child sacrifice, abortion. In our culture, think of this. They shot down the fornication laws, and so they delivered us into the hands of Baal. Then they had Roe versus Wade and delivered us into the hands of Baphomet. And then they allowed gay marriage, and so now our country politically is in the hold of the top 5 demons in hell other than Satan. They delivered us into their hands.
Maybe I'm weird, but it is ridiculous to me that people don't realize that this makes 100% perfect sense, because it's been here and we are in the midst of it. Just open your eyes. If you're a long-time viewer of this channel, I've been trying to tell you guys that feminism is a fucking psyop. That feminism is an agenda that is set out to divide us, is to make men and women hate each other. And it's all according to plan. Depopulation and the declining in birth rates. You see, men and women are not brought on this earth to compete with each other. We are here to complete each other.
The woman is described as being man's helper, one to help him achieve his God-given purpose in life. Now, I know that sounds like it's a derogatory view of women, that women are nothing more than the helper to their husbands. But that Hebrew word translated helper is used 21 times in the Hebrew Old Testament. 15 of those 21 times, it refers to God himself. God is man's helper. The Lord is my helper. That's the word that is used here. Man is deficient by himself. He's weak by himself. He needs a helper. He needs God. But God's provision to help him is the woman. The woman is the God figure in a husband's life. She is the one who makes up for the weak parts, the deficiencies.
A wise man once said, "A happy woman is a miserable man in a miserable relationship, but a happy man is a happy woman in a happy relationship, because the man is the head of the household, and a woman is a complementary to a man's life." Now, before I end this video, let me just say this. If we throw out traditional core values, we will start to see society fall apart. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.